no matter what industry you are in, no matter what you do for work, if you do not continue with your education, with your training, with honing your craft, no matter what craft it is, craft being your skill set, right? If you are not honing that on a regular basis, you will inevitably become stagnant and become useless, right? You will get left behind. And I think that goes for anything. As an editor, if I don't keep up with what changes are happening, what rules are being replaced and upgraded, I'm going to change something that doesn't need changing, or I'm not going to change something that should have been changed. The same way a cover designer could not be up to date with the new trend, or a voice actor isn't honing what needs to be honed for their voice, and if they're not working on getting their voice where it needs to be. And that is going to take us into a conversation that I was a part of this morning, which I'm an opinionated bitch and I am going to be vocal when I feel it needs to be vocal. And I try not to get involved with things if I can help it. But if I feel that people are going to be unjustly, I'm going to say something. And I'm going to say, I do not believe that mass male narrators need a defender at all in any way, shape or form. They're quite capable of doing that for themselves, or they have a whole cheerleading section that can do that for them. I'm quite vocal on the fact that I don't think that femme narrators get a fair shake, that mass narrators are shouted from the rooftops, sometimes unfairly, because they can do the bare minimum, right? And that being said, when I see a post by an author that says they respect them but generalizes that mass narrator or male narrator, she said, suck at femme voices, but that female narrators rock, I have to say something, because clearly their definition of respect and mine are very different. Because to me, that is not respectful. And if it was me and that author messaged to say, hey, I'd like to hire you, and I saw that post, I would say, thanks, but no thanks. Why would I want to work with somebody that has such little respect for me that they would blast over social media that they think my femme voice sucks? Like, why? Clearly it was for attention. Clearly it was for clout. Clearly it was for engagement. That's why she called it a hot take, right? But why? The post, by the way, has been deleted because she got so much negativity on it, right? Surely she had to have known that it would be negative. She claimed to love audiobooks. She had to know the audiobook community would not see that in a positive light. Even, and I think, playing devil's advocate here, the idea was to promote femme narrators. As somebody that promotes femme narrators, I hope the narrators that see my posts see them for what they are, which is that I want femme narrators to get their snaps for what they do. I don't want to take away from what the mass narrators do. My annoyance is not with the mass narrators, it is with the audience and how they put them on a pedestal and they get to do the bare minimum and get treated like they've just, you know. And I would hope that it's never seen as disrespectful, that, and I would never come out and say that they suck, because they don't. And I mean, even when I do a video, if it hasn't quite hit, I try to be respectful with it. I would never come out and say that they suck. I just don't understand. And she actually came back and said, before it was all deleted, that she can respect herself when she's writing and still say that it sucks because she can point out her weaknesses. And I'm like, I don't think she even realises that doing that for yourself is very different than somebody else and generalising. But also, it's so subjective. And this is a conversation that we've always had, right? Listening is subjective. If you don't like how a mass narrator sounds, that's fine. Listen to a different style of narration then. Maybe the narration style isn't for you. But to just say that, to me, it just hit me wrong. But not only that, but it was a generalisation. And quite frankly, there have been some mass narrators that, yeah, their femme voice hasn't quite hit. But then there have been some that have been fantastic. But guess what? Same for the femme narrators. There have been some where their mass voice have been spot on. But there have been some where I'm like, no, this is not hitting. It's just not, it's not right. And I just, but it comes down to honing that skill. So yes, they need to work on that. But what they don't need is an author using that sort of wording about them. They get all of that shit enough in reviews and from listeners, but somebody that's supposed to be a colleague, somebody that's going to hire them potentially, it just didn't sit right with me. I do know that I will not read that author. Like, it put me off so much that I was like, why would I want to support somebody that feels that way and that comfortable being that negative? But those are my thoughts today. Because we know, opinionated bitch. But anyway, with everything, we all need to hone our craft no matter what our craft is. But what we don't need are people that are supposed to be working alongside us publicly insulting us. You know? I guess, have the day you deserve.